we are going to talk about the elevator. So, the elevator by Renovation Mods. This is the elevator by Renovation Mods. We'll show you the engravings and everything up close shortly. This is a DNA20 telescoping tube mod. Neato. So, it's completely made out of 316L surgical grade stainless steel. The reason it's called the elevator is because of the threading design of the telescope, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit, that allows you to switch between battery sizes faster than a standard telescope. It has a joystick rather than a 3-button in order to use the function of the DNA20. There are a couple features that you cannot use because of this. You don't have the ability to switch the direction of the display, and you also don't have the ability to use stealth mode. However, you still can control the wattage, and you still can do 5-click on-off. Or not on-off, but 5-click turning the button activation off. And it has a self-adjusting center post, which is really cool. It's firm, but it has just enough give that it'll automatically adjust for different size atomizers to allow your atomizer to sit flush on the device. It has airflow control with the standard top cap. It is actually surprisingly compact for a tube mod with electronics. It's 89 millimeters tall, 23 millimeter diameter. That is in its shortest form, of course, and then it extends out from there. All of the electronic parts on the device have a 10-month guarantee, which is what Evolve gives for the DNA20, which is why they pass that on to the consumers. And all of the stainless steel parts on the device actually have a lifetime guarantee, which is pretty cool. So, and they have very, very good customer service and are very, very responsive to, messages and whatnot through Vaporwall, which is where I've communicated with them. Here is the link if you're interested in more information about the elevator. I'm posting it in chat right now. It is not inexpensive. It is an expensive device. It's €185. That's not including shipping. Shipping is €20 within Europe and 30 to the rest of the world. So you're looking at €205 or €215, depending on where you are. So it is not cheap. You have a few different options with the top cap as well. You can get one that is circular and flush with the device. You can get it with or without the airflow control, the original design one, which I'll show you here in just a moment as well. And yeah, let's do some close-up. So it comes with, hold on a sec, basically what you see is what you get. You get the mod, and we'll show you from top to bottom here. This is the elevator. Engravings on the device, you can see here, it says elevator. And it is also serialized right underneath the switch. You can see this is number 41. There's the switch right there, nice clicky button, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then you have the DNA20 display as well that shows you your ohms, voltage when it is firing. There's firing. And obviously it tells you your wattage as well. And then the top cap here, which you do have an adjustable airflow option, as I said. So let me show you what I'm talking about with this elevator feature here. So hold on one sec, and I'm going to take the battery out. So the way that the telescope works on this, if you look inside, you can see that there is 3 separate layers of threading, and then there's a spring down at the bottom. But those 3 layers of threading basically allow you to, so let's say you want to do 18650 mode. So we'll thread this on here. Okay, now it's in 18650 mode. But then I want to go to 18500. Now see what happens there? It pops off the threads for the 650 mode and then catches the threads for 18500 mode. And then you screw that a little bit, and then it pops down again to go into 18350 mode. So you don't have to spend a half hour threading the damn device if you want to do, if you want to take the cap off, because it, you can see it pops in between the threads, and switch between different battery sizes, which is pretty cool. Now, the original design of the switch on this actually had a different little rubber piece, and this is the replacement one that you could request if you wanted it, and they would send it for free. So this is actually the first upgrade to the device, free of charge again, like I said. The original button looked something like, was basically this little black disc where that little black button is right there, and made it very difficult to adjust the wattage up and down, because the way that this works is you press it in to fire, and then you press it from the side, like a joystick, to do the wattage up and down. And it was real. I mean, you can actually do it just with your finger on top of it now with this new button. But with the old button, you actually had to kind of like jam your fingernail in the side to try to push it up, and it was really a pain in the butt. So anyway, though, that is no longer an issue, and they've corrected that with this new little rubber button, and I actually like it very, very much. So let me put the battery back in real quick. I have this in 18500 mode, as you'll see here in just a moment. So we'll screw that in past the 650, and then it catches on the spring, and then we'll screw that in there, and then screw it just until it's snug. You don't want to over tighten it. And then there's my wattage, and we'll go up and down very easily, and we'll keep that at 15 watts, and then we'll fire, and then it'll show you your ohms. And you also see your battery level on there as well. Now, the top cap, you can see in here, I'm going to take a pen and show this to you real quick. Actually, I'm going to use a screwdriver. So, if you look on the inside of the top cap here, you'll see when I press on this, that, see, it actually goes in a little bit. It doesn't have a ton of give, but just a little. It's enough that it automatically adjusts for different atomizer sizes, which is really, really nice. And I think it's actually done just with O-rings, so it's got a little bit of give because of the rubber there. The actual top cap itself actually just pops right off and is held on with O-rings here. So this is not the stock top cap. This is the 23mm circular no airflow top cap, which gives it, I think, the cleanest look. However, the stock top cap looks like this, which is a little squared off, as you can see. And this one has an air hole in the side, as you can see here. And that allows you to line up with this air hole, and then even with the atomizer on there, you have the ability to turn this to adjust the airflow if you are using a atomizer that has some kind of airflow, like a Penelope or a an Odysseus or something else that has airflow through the bottom, or obviously like a standard 510 atomizer. Actually, I don't think a 510 atomizer would work, but like a Penelope or an Odie. And as you can see, if you look at it from the side, it's recessed in there. So this little circle right here on the inner circle there is higher up than where the 510 threading is, and the airflow goes in the space in between those two, which also serves as a little bit of a juice well too. And you get the airflow control through that. Let's pop the other top cap back on, put the atomizer back on this guy. The finish on it is really, really nice, actually. It's a nice, fine brushed finish, as you can see. No flaws, no marks. I mean, you see a little bit of, you know, around the plastic covering on the DNA there, but let me actually change that back to 18. There we go. The only thing I don't like about the look of the device is the way that the button is assembled. So it's actually a threaded cylinder that surrounds the little joystick button and keeps the rubber piece on top of the button there. But if you look at it from the side, you can actually see the threading. Even more so on this side, it's actually got two threads exposed. And I've noticed that you can actually kind of get your finger kind of caught on that a little bit. It's not like it's sharp enough to cut you or anything, but it's just a rough edge. And I didn't like that about the look personally. Other than that, though, I think it's actually really sharp looking. I do prefer a tube mod to a box mod, so, you know, a really nice looking tube DNA 20 I think is a great thing. And I do believe that that's what this is. So let me put my atomizer back on here and we'll vape this and talk about how it vapes. So really like the adjustable top cap. You don't have to do a thing. It just sits flush. Nice and flush, no problem. I'm using a Big Ben on here, by the way, if you're wondering. And I've got it in 18500 mode. And basically, with the electronics, when you have this in 18350 mode, it's the size of most mechanical mods in 18500 mode. When you have this in 18500, it's the size of most mechs in 18650. So you get the idea. It's basically one battery size larger because of the electronics in there, which is not a ridiculous amount if you think about it. When you're, you know, I mean, these are the newest. This is the newest electronic chipset that's available on the market right now. So, or at least that's being mass produced, and it doesn't increase the size by that much. I mean, if you look at it in my hand, this is in 18500 mode. Like I said, it's about the size of an 18650 mechanical mod. It's got a real nice clicky switch on it too that I like a lot. I really like that tactile feel like that. And let's give it a vape. Oh, would help if I screw my atomizer down all the way on it. There we go. Oh no, when I was showing you how clicky it is, I locked it with the 5-click lock. That would be why it didn't fire. That's not embarrassing at all. So let's vape it. Now, obviously, you know, this is a DNA 20 device and it vapes like a DNA 20 device. And it's really going to depend on what atomizer you use and what setup you use on the atomizer, what kind of performance you're going to get out of it. You know, but you've got the full range all the way up to 20 watts like you do on any DNA 20 device, and performance-wise, it vapes just like all of the DNA 20s that I've used, except I personally think that it's more aesthetically pleasing because I typically lean toward tube mods versus box mods personally. I love it. You know, I'm usually a mechanical user. I like to play around with, you know, different coil setups that you're not going to be able to run on electronics sometimes. But, you know, being able to go up to 20 watts, it really does give you, you know, a lot of flexibility and the ability to almost reach that same kind of vape that you get from like a, you know, a 0.7, 0.8 ohm dual coil. Not quite, but real close. And it's regulated, so you're going to get the same vape that you get if you have it set to 18 watts, 20 watts, whatever. You're going to get the same vape all the way down until the battery needs to be replaced, which is really nice. So you don't have to switch the batteries out as often, obviously, because, you know, dropping from a fresh battery down to 3.7, 3.8 volts is actually a huge difference when you're dealing with lower ohm atomizers. And, you know, having it regulated, keeping it steady all the way across is really nice. So it's pricey, but I really like the elevator, I have to say. I think Renovation Mods did a really good job. It looks nice. I really like that idea, the elevating idea, where it's really easy to screw in a smaller battery on there. Because, you know, that's actually one thing that annoys me about telescopes, just sitting there for a long time and screwing the thing in over and over and over and over again. The machine quality on it's nice. I think it looks good. And, you know, and it performs well. Plus, it's got that really great guarantee on it, too. I mean, lifetime guarantee on all the stainless parts. Plus, you get the standard Evolve DNA 20 guarantee to 10-month on the electronics. It's pretty nice. So, they're going to be doing another batch soon, I believe, if it's not live already. So, I would definitely recommend jumping on that if you're looking for a really nice-looking, well-made, well-backed by a good, you know, warranty DNA 20 tube mod. You know, I think it's fantastic. So there you have it. That is the elevator by Renovation Mods.